Toy Story. Whether you love it or hate it, well, I don't know how you hate it, but still, you cannot deny the sheer cultural impact this franchise has left on the filmmaking community. And the newest movie, Toy Story 5, just broke the record for the largest opening debut of any Pixar movie in history. Which should be clear to everyone that the Toy Story movies are all pretty good, right? And there should be an obvious way to rank all of them, also, right? Well, not really. There doesn't really seem to be a consensus on which one is the best one and which one is the worst one. Some people say the first one, and some people even say the fourth one. I'll give you my ranking on all of the Toy Story movies from 1 to 5. Let's jump right into it. Okay, so this may be a bit controversial, but I think that the first Toy Story is the weakest one. Getting last on this list is not a bad thing, let's make that clear, because all of these movies are great and well worth a watch if you have not seen them. To me, it's a simple nature, and the fact that it's saying the least narratively out of the Toy Stories really bogs it down. On the other hand, I can see why so many people like it and find it to be the best. Let's start with what makes this movie good. Firstly, of course, I have to start with the fact that it's the first fully CG animated movie ever. It's been 31 years since this movie was released, and the animation still somewhat holds up. The movie is obviously hilarious and quotable. It's really funny and may be the funniest movie among all Pixar period, not just Toy Story. The way they set up this world is also really cool. But my first major issue with the movie is that Sid is not a very good antagonist. Sure, he's scary and serves his purpose in the plot, but he's really one-dimensional and does not have much development. Also, Woody's really jerky for the first half of the movie and is really unlikable. In the other movies, Woody has his moments of greed and selfishness, but in those movies I can see where Woody's coming from. Good movie, but a bit overrated. I bet you guys did not expect me to put Toy Story 4 above Toy Story 1 on the list, but here we are. Some people really dislike Toy Story 4 for even existing and ruining the perfect ending from the third movie, but I do not think that's a valid reason to dislike the movie. Sure, the ending to Toy Story 3 was great, but that does not mean that the overall story of these characters has to be over. It's the end of Andy's story and narrative, but Woody's narrative was never properly concluded. In this movie, Woody's identity crisis is really compelling. I understand that 4's take on what it means to be a toy is contrary to Toy Story 2 and 3, but I do not mind it as much as other people. It's all about the fact that Woody was able to find his own validation through being a lost toy and helping other toys find owners instead of being rigid and sticking to your one kid. Besides that, it's just a well-designed movie in general and is still hilarious. A lot of the side characters, including Forky and the Duck and the Bunny, are really funny. Sure, it's not as action-packed as the third and second, and it has plenty of plot holes. The side characters are not as memorable, and I did not really care for Gabby Gabby that much. Overall, a great movie that is a bit underrated. If you have not seen Toy Story 5, you should absolutely go see it. Warning, there are going to be spoilers in this review. It is a more than worthwhile addition to the franchise, despite Woody being sidelined for most of the story. Honestly, I think that was for the best for this one. Woody's story is over, and we can now focus on Jesse and Bonnie, which we didn't get much of in the fourth movie. In my opinion, this one feels the most like a return to the original toy series in the sense that it focuses on the toys and isn't super thematically complicated. But the scene where Bonnie rejects Jesse and Bullseye is genuinely heartbreaking. I almost cried watching that in theaters, which is saying a lot for me. Buzz is utilized way more in this one, which I find refreshing considering how sidelined he was in the last movie. The tech storyline looked not great on the trailers, but Lily Pad is understandable and funny in the actual movie, when she throws herself away. It was also really sad. I resonated with her way more than Gabby Gabby. I also enjoyed how they used Bonnie way more in this one. The human storyline was actually really sad and emotional. I enjoyed Blaze as well. She was pretty cool. The side characters are also funny and plot relevant, unlike the last one. Overall, it's very emotional and sets the tone for a Toy Story 6, which I absolutely would not hate. While it's not as rich and funny as the rest of the Toy Stories, it's certainly a good time and worth a watch. Let me tell you, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to Toy Story 3 and how great it is. Let's start with the best part of the movie, the villain. Lotso Hugging Bear is the greatest Pixar villain of all time. Fight me. No other villain can get Hitler comparisons, and it makes sense. You feel bad about his kid abandoning him, but he gaslights the crap out of Baby, and he's just such an a-hole. He is such a master manipulator. Also, the fact that this is a prison escape movie is awesome as heck. The way he's able to influence any toy at Sunnyside is horrifying in itself. I should make a whole analysis video on Lotso because I'm not doing him justice with those words. Anyway, getting back to the other good things about the movie, Woody's point of view makes sense, and it's kind of hard seeing the toy gang seemingly betray him at the start. I also like the action scenes way more in this one than any of the other previously mentioned Toy Stories. The climax is also so peak, especially the near-death scene when they're in the garbage chute and when Lotso nearly kills the crew by not pulling the lever. Seeing it for the first time, you really think for a second that they would legit all die. That tells you how amazing this movie really is. It's way funnier than it gets credit for. Buzz becoming Spanish is absolutely hilarious and ridiculous. Of course, I have to talk about the emotional ending. If Pixar ended here, it would have been the perfect finale, especially after what happened after. Not a foolproof movie by any means, but certainly an amazing one that will always be a timeless classic. But it's still not the best one. You'd think with how epic Toy Story 3 is, that it would easily be the best movie of this entire franchise. But yeah, no. Toy Story 2 is just that good. Firstly, this movie feels way more personal because it's about Woody's internal conflicts. The existential conflict Woody has in this movie is really cool and natural for him. It expands the toy world so much that I appreciate this world building. Both villains are also very interesting and fun. Al is hilarious, and Wayne Knight is a perfect voice for this role. Stinky Pete isn't as good as Lotso, but he's still an amazing villain. Disney/Pixar twist villains sometimes get a lot of hate, but Stinky Pete is done right, and his origin story about not being played with or opened at all is genuinely sad. Jessie is also a well-developed character here, and her reasoning for going on with Stinky Pete's plan makes perfect sense. It's a fun adventure with amazing characters and deep moral lessons. I never get tired of it, and it's one of the few movies I could watch over and over and over again and not get bored. The opening sequences and the other Buzz stuff is funny as heck. Shoot, this movie as a whole brings me so much joy. It's crazy how well this movie turned out considering its troubled production. The movie was completely deleted until it was saved by Galen Sussman because she had a backup copy at her house. Overall, you can't go wrong with this movie. I'm struggling to think about a single thing I dislike about it, and honestly, it's just that good. Well, that's my ranking. Have a nice day.